Okay, how's it going, guys? We're live once again, week 16. Um, so I'm pretty excited, to get this thing going, popping off, you know. First things first, I want to get into a couple of shout outs actually, because some of y'all are in my comments saying, hey, give me a shout out. I want this, I want that, I want this kind of beat. So, shout out to my boy Dawson. Sup, dog? How you doing? You're now part of the family here. Thank you for like always commenting on my community posts and all of that fun stuff. So, thank you to Dawson. You're always in the comments, like I said. Your Suicide Boys type beat didn't win it this week, so I'm sorry about that, man. But we got this Mac Miller type beat for you guys this week. So the voting, it was pretty close. I think we needed a couple more votes to swing it the Suicide Boys type beat way. So unfortunately, it didn't go Dawson's way this time. But shout out to that young bull, Dawson. Uh, thanks for watching, man. So there's your live shout out. If you ever want a shout out, just send me a message, hit me up on Instagram. Uh, Leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you like want to get a nice little shout out here on you know, beat breakdowns or whatever. So just the quick little love letter from the bottom of my heart to you guys that are tuning in on this fine Friday afternoon. Sorry that I was a little bit late this time. It's 10 minutes late. I know, big deal. Shouldn't shouldn't be that way, but I had to get everything ready for this stream and make sure I had all the stuff. As you can see, there's something a little bit different. We have my toolbar here now. This is just kind of to like prevent the stream from like messing up when we're going live, because FL Studio crashed the last couple of times, and I'm not trying to have that issue again. So it had something to do with the software, but yeah, that in mind now. We're gonna be kind of just going right into this thing. Yeah, so like I said, for the voting, every Thursday, starting at 6 in the morning Pacific time, all the way until 6 a.m. on Friday. We I like tally up the votes, and it's only through my Instagram. So if you're not already following me, make sure you're getting your votes in on Instagram. That's the only way I'm gonna look at it. I'm not gonna look at YouTube comments for voting. But if you go to my Instagram, shoot me a follow, and then you'll be ready for every Thursday when we do the voting. Okay, so without further ado here, I think I'm just about ready to get this thing going with all that. So this week, guys, I'm got a Mac Miller type beat for you. This is a Mac Miller with Earl Sweatshirt kind of like vibes in it because it's really trippy, and it's also a little bit of Alchemist, just especially with the bass line, I feel like, to give it that like more smooth kind of vibe. Um, it's no samples this week. We're just kind of like breaking down how to make some dark melodies. So that's like where it's gonna come in to play with Alchemist, I guess. It's just like how like it's a little dark, and it's like really the drums and the boom bap kind of style are really more what the Alchemist side of it's gonna be. The Earl Sweatshirt side's kind of like the trippier, like little eccentric type of stuff, and then Mac Miller is just kind of like my favorite, and I could say, oh, I could totally hear him on this. So that's basically where the inspiration came from for this. I'm gonna play the beat one time so you guys can remember what it sounds like, and then we'll go into just go right into the melodies. So here's the beat. Okay, so yeah, that's what the beat sounds like right off the top. The next thing I'm gonna do here is let's go right into the melodies. I'll introduce some of the presets I use, like I like to do. So one of the things that I use here is this Omnisphere preset. It's an organ Rhode. It's just a standard patch. Then I have this Vox. That's the female strings. It's just a hardware library patch. It's another Omnisphere preset, I'm pretty sure. And then another Omnisphere preset is a weathered strum that I've got here. Just all comes standard with Omnisphere. And the bass, and I'll go more in depth about what's going on with the bass here. This is an ample bass. If you've ever used this before, it's a great way to get synthetic bass sounds if you're feeling a little lazy or if you don't have a bass. This is a good way to get like a natural sounding bass. So yeah, I mean it sounds pretty cool. It's got like I'll kind of go into some more of that when I get down to it when I start breaking down the bass. But yeah, going into this with the melody. So Omnisphere, the first sound that we have is this organ. It's an organ Rhode, so it's half mellow organ, half Rhode, I guess, you know. Yeah, so I kept it really chill with this. I didn't really feel the need to like go over the top and just kind of like went in descending order here. So this is in D minor. So that means the only thing that's flat or sharp is this B. So the D sharp or the D minor scale is just, you know, D E F G A B or A B flat and C. Yeah, so kind of like just staying in that scale. So like basically the way that like I like this one because it's like really easy to play on the piano. So it's like right here I inverted the chord here, so it's like, and I think I did this with every single one. So it's like each one of these chords, it's a BDF chord. So this is just I believe this is the sixth. So oh, I'm still on ample bass. You can't hear that. So we'll go here. So I'll play this chord, right? So it's like that, but I inverted it so that the first note, that would like the root note, is actually on top to give it like it just kind of like makes it play nicer sometimes than this. That's too dark for what I wanted to have. That kind of gives it more of that like breath. Um, then I go down to directly below it, which would be ACE. So I believe this is a 5. So ACE would be this. Okay, yeah, so ACE, and I inverted it again. So like with the progression, going to here, or going from here to there, kind of makes it sound like it's descending. And even though like really like this would be actually well, I mean it's descending a half step anyway, but like you know, it just made it sound cooler. And I did this with every single one, I just inverted it one time, so it's a 1/6, so on and so forth kind of thing. So I didn't really use any like tonic chords with this. Um, I used a 4 and a 6, but like I never used the 1. I never used the root note. And you can do that sometimes in your things just to make, you know, just spice it up a little bit. Gotta spice it up. um, but that chord breakdown with this, it's like they all follow this pattern, right, of just descending because then it just like gives it that dark feeling. Um, and that's really what I wanted to keep with this. It's like keep it sad, keep it dark, keep it trippy. And the really thing that makes it trippy is this second atmosphere preset that I use is this vocal. So yeah, basically what I did here is just B and G, right? So like in here, we had like I just kind of like I think what I wanted to do is just play off of the notes that were already in here. So this kind of like made it like a seventh chord in a way because it's just going B and G, but um, it just sounded right to me to start off with that. So when it's like together, so they're playing off of each other in a way that's not like typically like when you do it in an arpeggio, you want to use the same chords that are in the main chord breakdown, right? But in this, I'm creating dissonance by doing like, so you can see it's C, E here, and then here it's, instead of C, E, it's A and F. So it's like, it's playing off of the notes that were already there, but like, it's just creating this level of dissonance uh, to keep that dark together. So like when you're playing dissonant, it's like, basically like when you know when you're playing the keys on the piano when you're a kid and you're slamming every note, and sometimes like when it sounds like it's a wrong note, there are really no wrong notes, but like if you play like a D and an E together, right, kind of like sounds a little off. I mean, I'll play it on here so you can hear it better. So it's like if it was D and F here, a little like hazy together, right, but that creates a dark dissonance to it when you do that together. And for me, particularly with like Earl Sweatshirt, he's very eccentric with everything that he does. So it's like that's a cool thing for me, at least. And like because he's so out there, it's like I felt like dissonance was the right way to kind of capture that. Um, and then here we've got in our third, it's just a strummed chord. So it's just pretty much the layered thing of that. So this thing I think is arpeggiated or something like that. Yeah. So it just like goes, hits the chord, goes down low, like it's strumming up and down, right? That's kind of the idea. See how it's see how it's like strumming up and down with that. So it's like it makes it sound like it's strumming up and down like a real chord. That's just this weather strum preset that's already together. And I just layered the top note here. So like I wanted to make sure that that this omnisphere chord, right, was just uh, just layering the top note there, just like so technically the root note of the chord, but like I wanted to like layer that another time to make the chords sound a little bit more spacey, a little bit more like they're not just like one chord and that's it. It makes it sound like just like putting a little bit of humanization in there goes a long way, is what I would say. Uh, Last part for this melody, I'll just kind of go into this bass, and then I'll like when I'm done explaining like the bass pattern and how to like make kind of like a eccentric like bass melody, um, I'll kind of go into like how to like fine tune ample bass. So here. So for me, I just wanted to keep the chords pretty much the same. So right here, Mr. 1. So it's A and C. Let's see. And then we have E and F. Okay, so those notes. Yeah, so like the root notes are A, and then I think it's A, C, E. If I'm not mistaken, probably am, but oh, it's F, A, C. Okay, so like basically if it's F, A, C, E, that's just like doing a, like a, face chord, if you will, but it's just adding a seventh. So like your F, A, C, right, would be here. And if you add this extra note, it doesn't sound dissonant, right? Even though E and F together would clash normally, because it's another octave up, it makes it like it's just still spacing it out between the chords. So it doesn't sound dissonant in that particular setting. So that's why it was done that way for the bass. And then like when you're making something that's like melodic, you don't want to like have it like if you want your bass to really stand out, you don't the secret sauce to that is really just not lining it up with the kick one for one. So if you want your bass line to stand out and have it be like okay, so like Thundercat, like he has all of his bass is like it's like three layers of bass, right? It's not like okay, I've got one bass line and that's it. Well, Thundercat has like three different things going on, panned to the left and the right ear, and you may not always hear it, but it's like that's what it brings it together to make it really stand out. And he like tries to make the bass the melody. And now like with this, I tried to make that because the melody itself it was good, but it's not like okay, this is like the piece that stands out. When people listen to this, I think most the thing that they're gonna think about is like, yeah, that bass line was crazy. And what I did is I didn't really line it up with the kicks as much because the kicks like there's no, so like if you saw there's no like root note to start off. So like when it's playing off of the kicks, it's not hitting at the same exact time, right? So here, right, so like you can kind of hear how it like plays off. So it's like almost like the kick hits and then the bass responds. That's how I wanted to like make it stand out. It's like not hitting exactly on the kick, but it is providing like that bass, that low frequency, that you need. Um, so that's the one thing I will say about it. It's a unique bass line because it's not hitting exactly on the kicks and it's like making it stand out because it's not following your typical bass patterns. So typical bass patterns, you'd layer it with a kick and just follow the root notes and like maybe add a little flair here and there. Like whether like if it's an 808, you'd add like a slide and like make it like go like that. Or if it's like, you know, a bass line like how it is with ample bass, you like add like a couple of extra plucks at the end to make it like really roll together, um, make it more natural sounding. And another secret sauce thing that you could do for your bass line to like make it sound unique is editing the velocity. I try to beat this home. Um, the only thing that's different between dragging in and like playing notes in on your keyboard really is like just velocity. Because like when you're recording it in, you're not recording it live, right? You're not like your MIDI keyboard is not like, oh, it's a live instrument and it's recording the audio from the live instrument. It's just recording the note, how hard you played it, when you played it, and then like that's it. So you can like just draw these things in if you're like lazy and not trying to play the keys. But if you're feeling lazy and doing that, you can just draw it in and have your bass line and then edit the velocity because then you can kind of just like move it all the way up. Because a lot of times, like with 808s and kicks, we want to just hit as hard as you can, so you put the velocity all the way up. And if you have it all the way up, it's just not going to hit the same. It's like okay, well this is like programmed and it hits hard and it sounds good. But when you're doing something that's more natural, it's not like just the same, then you kind of need it to, you know, hit different. um, Now I'll kind of like explain like what ample bass is. So this is the ample bass preset. You can get the, or not preset, but it's just the plugin. You can get it for free if you just Google search it. I'll probably add it into the description of this video. Let me like go ahead and edit that. Uh, at the end of this video, I'll like go in and like add where you can get ample bass. Um, but basically, it's this plugin that like is like a bass. It's just a live bass. Goes all the way down to E on like E3 on your keyboard. At least that's what the free version. I don't know if it gets any lower when you get the more expensive version, but like with the free version, it goes all the way down here. But that's the lowest note you can hit on your main bass, anyways. So the things that it has, it's like got a release, acoustic noise, like auto buzzing. So when you turn auto buzzing off, it tells you like when it's toggled on, random notes will buzz. So that gives it more of that natural feeling. I decided to turn it off because I like mine to be a little bit more smooth. And then acoustic noise, it adds like fret changes, like like little pluck noises in there. And you can choose where it starts, and then it's like when you start, like it tells you when the sample starts. And it's like, okay, I want this to start here, and I'm gonna just move across, and then that's where it's gonna be. And you can boost the acoustic noises all the way up or something. You see here those clicks? Right. So like that's what that does, and then there's different effects. Like you can turn up the bass of this, and you can edit like what the master volume is and like what the slap ratio is of how many times is it gonna slap per beat on this, and that's basically what this plugin is. And I don't really mess with it as much. I just like I only have certain things that I like out of it, and so then I go into here, I flip it to mono, and then in FL Studio, you can just flip it to mono like by resetting it. So for one, then you go all the way down, and then your studio separation is 100% merged. That flips it into mono, and then I add this CLA for compression, and then this EQ for bass. So I usually just take all of the like louder fret noises out by like doing this, and then I increase the bass of it just to make it hit even harder. That's just like the basic. I'll go back into it when I go into the mix, but if you're trying to make a nice bass line, this is definitely like it's definitely a good recipe. Now I'll go into just the drums here. So let's see. Just mute these bad boys. We'll go in here.
Oh, God, it's MXN.
Okay, so with that in mind, right, we've got this drum pattern set up like this. So with boom bap stuff, I'll break down the kicks first. It's easier to break it. It's easier to break it down with the snares. So here, with with this, all I did is like I said before, the velocity, I just cranked it all the way up because I didn't need these kicks to like sound super natural. I just wanted them to hit like it was like a programmed in a machine. And what I did here is just this pattern. You're looking at this, it's just like boom, ba boom, you know. And it's just kind of like repeating that like simple pattern. And then you have like when you're like working in a a boom bap kind of beat, you want to work in the like 83 to the like probably like 97 is the fastest I'd go if you're like trying to work in boom bap. But then you just have the snares hit right here, like on these. So you have it hit there instead of on here. So this is where the offbeat is because like technically this is like half time. This is basically where you'd want it to be. Um, then with the hi-hats, it's just I kept it pretty standard, programmed like this. And with the samples, you want to use something that kind of sounds like a little natural or like maybe like kind of 90s. There's different like presets that are like different like sample packs you can get. You just look online, you should type in like boom bap pack and you should be able to find something. And then I added the shaker. Kind of like a rattle sound just to like make it a little bit more unique. Then added this mini crash here. So it's kind of like a ride sound, and then it's like making it sound like more like natural drums with the unnatural. So it's like kind of like amalgamating together to like make it sound sample. Then I added this bongo to kind of just like keep that like that triplet like tone that I had in the beginning. Then this crash on top of the rides just made it like play nice, and then layered snares. Hey Dawson, good to see that you're in here. I shouted you out earlier in the video. You're still here, man. Good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate you watching, man. And let's see. Got the snares going, and then I layered the kicks actually here. So kind of like going more into detail, like with the bongos, like it's the bump, 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 like that. Kind of like for me was something I thought was pretty cool. And then the kicks, just layered it just to give it that extra thump because I just didn't feel like it was hitting right. Like this one gave a lot more boom. This one kind of gave more of the classic vibes, and then like, it kind of just this one's kind of got the classic hi-hat over the top of the kick. This one adds the extra thump. That was kind of like my thinking behind all of that. Yeah, so together we've kind of got everything that we need with this beat. So I'll just play it out. Okay, yeah, so that's how you kind of like make this. It's pretty standard beat in some aspects and then very different in others. So it's like he's got like a typical like boom bap bounce to it, but it has a lot different in terms of the melody. I took a little bit extra time to explain the bass line and the melodies. But you know, that was just for good reason. I felt like this is like what makes it stand out, not necessarily the drums. The drums are good and they like bounce and make you rock with it, but it's a good little beat. Um, so with this going forward, I'll kind of break down the structure of what I chose. So with it being in half, being in half time basically. So like you cut everything in half. If you want it to still be like 2 minutes, like how I typically like my beats to kind of wrap around, um, then what you do is you just you keep your melodies to like 4 bars or something like that. So basically your hook's gonna be 8, and then instead of doing like a 24 bar where it would just be the 12, I do 16. So like when I'm doing a boom bap beat, you get 16 for your verse because that's usually where the artist is like if they're a lyrical artist, that's where they're gonna shine is the verse. The hook is something that's important obviously and you put it twice, but generally speaking, this is where they're gonna shine is the verse. They're gonna get off what's on their mind. That's really where you want them to shine. So it's a I had a little bit longer of a intro, so typically it would be like just 4, but then you can get it to go. So it's like 8. So I want 8, 8, 16, 8, and 4 for the outro. Um, but yeah, that's basically all the song structure that goes into this. I'll go into the mixing real quick. So with this, it's like I've done most recently here on the channel. I kind of just have gotten like to this part where I'm like using a lot of like drum samples that I think are mixed pretty well. So I'm not like really trying to like do too much to them. As you can see, I only really like added like something on the bass line. And when I talked about it, the main thing that I did was cut out the higher frequencies, which is where like I said like when we were doing it. Right. So it's like really like low, right? That's how it starts, and then you add this to it. takes a lot of that buzz noise, but keeping it in like to the main part of the bass sound, but just taking out the higher frequencies so it doesn't clash. And then with the CLA thing, I usually start out with just the bass one, and that takes it to analog, and then I edit the peak reduction so that it goes down to like -3. That's generally what I like to do. So when it's hitting at -3, it's not overly compressed. And then I edit the gain till I like it where it's at. But generally speaking, that's a good starting point with that one. But yeah, that's pretty much all the mixing I did with this, except for like, with the little rides and the bongos, they kind of play off each other. Because I just wanted those to rest in different parts of the ear, the mix, right? So that's basically what I had with that. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much what I got today, guys. All in all, I know it took a lot of time to kind of explain like the bass line, the melodies with this, but I felt that that was pretty much the most necessary part of understanding how to make this kind of eccentric Mac Miller, Alchemist, Earl Sweatshirt type beat. Um, so I don't think there's anything I've left out. If you have any comments or concerns, just write me a comment and I'll like explain it maybe next week or another video. But yeah, like shout out to all you guys that are like watching. Thank you for tuning in. This is probably the most successful live stream I've done up to this point. We got 7 different viewers in here than we've had before, so 7 new people. I appreciate you guys. Shout out to the ones who have been here since the beginning, but it's just gonna keep growing. So thank you guys for tuning in and checking out a little bit of like what I got going on here. So every week on the channel, I do a video. We break it down. We break down a beat from this week, whichever one was the most popular. Make sure you're giving me a follow on Instagram to do the voting on Thursdays. And I drop 3 beats a week, so you got 3 to choose from. That's three beats to choose from. Every single week, and I usually try to switch up the vibes. Sometimes like my main, like I guess my core is like making some dark trap beats, Mac Miller beats, little Uzi beats, and I'm kind of getting into coming down the pipe. You guys are gonna like this. I'm doing some shoreline beats, doing some Larry June beats. There's all kinds of crazy stuff coming down the pipe, guys. So it's like every once in a while, I like to mix it up, throw something new in there that you guys haven't heard yet. But like the main thing that I've been like spend at my core is just dark trap beats, like Suicide Boys type beats, Puya type beats, Xavier Wolf type beats. Then also like a lot of like Lil Uzi beats, just to keep the like happy melodic things going on. Um, and yeah, but like we'll mix it up every week. Uh, so with all that in mind, make sure you leave a like, a comment, subscribe to me, turn on that noti bell so you don't miss anything, guys. So I really appreciate you. Um, you know, hope you have a great day. God bless all of you guys, and see you next week.